questions?
Yeah, sure. For being here, we're excited about this new journey. Team 11. It's kind of crazy to think about. Seeing a lot of you for a lot of those years is kind of cool, and appreciate that. Really anxious to get started. We've got a lot of new faces, but we've got a lot of key pieces back, some experience back to lead these young guys, and a couple of transfers that are new here. They've done a really good job of just kind of leading through the Cowgirl way, the things that we've built this program on in our time here, the things that we've built upon from people like Sandy Fisher and the teams that she had before us. And that's been the goal from day one. This team has a chance to be really good, and it's going to be a fun journey to watch them grow. We're going to get challenged right from the first Thursday, first weekend, and the second weekend. No need to really talk about the second one. We've got to focus on the first one. Getting to go to Stanford, open up in a new ballpark, and play a couple of good friends of mine at those schools. So just really anxious to get started with these guys in the back. They do it right. They do it the way we've asked, and we've challenged them a little bit differently this fall, and they've answered every single day. And I'm proud of them for that, because it's been a little bit of a tougher road this fall.
Kenny, I know that most of today is going to be about looking forward, but if we could just quickly kind of look back at last year, kind of reflecting on that.
Yeah.
What did you learn, whether it was about yourself, how you guys handled things, if you handled things differently, to end up where you did rather than where you wanted to be?
Yeah. I wasn't going to talk about last year unless you asked me, so I guess that's where I'm at. Last year was a disappointment for a lot of us. It was just, we didn't meet the standards that we've been used to the last 5 years. And there was actually a lot of growth in that, and a lot of painful growth. I think that's where some of your best growth is when it hurts the very most. And last year we just never really clicked right. And I just look right to myself. I mean, that's where it's at. Like, I'm the leader of this thing, and along with some other great people and great players. But I learned a lot, and I knew I had made some mistakes along the way. I've been very open about that this fall. A couple of those things. I think with all the winning, I'm learning how to be a good head coach, and I'm a long way away. And I think a couple of the missteps I made, one of them was last fall. We were so good. We were just so good. We were the practice, the discipline, all the stuff that you dream about as far as a coach, the talent. We're looking at that going, man, like, it just looks good. These guys are giving us everything here. And I think what I did in my mind, I thought I was doing them a little bit of a favor, and I skipped some steps. I didn't quite make them earn from point A to point B. Maybe they earned B. They started A and they got to B, and they earned that, and then I rushed them ahead to D. And I didn't do that out of like neglect. I did it out of a feeling or a part of me that said, hey, like, this may be the team that could win that first last game here at OSU, and let's push them along. They can handle that. And what I learned is every team has to earn what they get. They don't get to piggyback off Team 9 or Team 8. Team 10's got to be Team 10. They got to run their race. And then I went on a walk this summer with Coach Holder. And, when you want to reflect, I told myself I was going to be totally great in this. I always ask him to go on a walk. I do it a lot. I don't do it as much, but I still do it when I know I need help. So I called him up. I said, hey, I need to walk. And he said, okay, I'll meet you at the golf course at 5 o'clock a.m. And I was like, damn, why can't we just go at 6? And he said, I'll see you at 5. I said, okay. And we got about 500 steps in, and he said, you screwed up this last year. And I was like, damn, we're 500 steps into a 7-mile walk. And I said, this is going to be tough. And he just said, you screwed up when you kept saying this is the best team you've ever had. And I was like, okay, well, that's how I felt. And he goes, yeah, but they hadn't earned that. And if I'm Shy Factor and Kylie Naomi and Taylor Tuck and Chelsea Alexander, and I've been to 4 straight Women's College World Series, and you're telling everybody in this room and outside of here that this is the best team I've ever had, I'd be pissed. It's like you slapped him in the face, and I was like, damn, he's right. And so you're not going to hear me today say this is the best team that we've ever had. And I told this team in the fall, I said, I'm getting back to team one guy. Like, it's okay. It won't be unfair. But we're getting back to every single thing matters. To the color of socks that you're going to wear when we lift weights. If they're not the right socks, Chance will send you home. Don't ask me to be in shorts. We're not wearing shorts. We're wearing pants. My first teams never wore shorts. If they did, it was the biggest treat. It was the biggest party that they ever had. We're not wearing shorts. Like, you're going to earn that stuff. And as your coach, I need to do a good job of making sure you understand you can get anything that you want to get. Just got to earn it. And so that's what I love about Coach Holder. Like, he can keep it right. He can keep it real. And he's dead right. And he told me, he goes, I was laying in bed one night, and, he was telling Robbie, his wife, he said, he's screwing this thing up. I know he thinks it's his best team. And I love when he talks about his team. He's always behind them. He's always got their backs, but he goes, he's too far. So that was what I learned. And so I told our staff this summer when we were in Colorado recruiting, and we sat down. It's kind of a good place for us to all meet away from everybody. And I just said, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is my expectation from all of you. And it's going to start with me. It's my fault. It's not your fault. It's my fault. As a matter of fact, if you don't think it's enough, then tell me and let's do it right. So that's where we're at. This team, I know that these freshmen in the fall were looking around going, whoa. I know I could see it in Carly and Rose's face at times going, these freshmen are going, what's going on here? And they're like going, I don't know this. I haven't never been through this. And it wasn't unfair. It was just hard. It was hard the way it's supposed to be. And I wanted that in every aspect that we've done, from practice to weights to anything. So that's where I'm at.
Kenny, talking about this year, 11 newcomers, 11 returners. How big is it for those guys to mesh, and how big will those first 3 road trips be when you go from California to Florida, Texas, just to bond as a team?
Yeah, my favorite part of the season is the bus rides. And we won't really have a long one until we, go to Texas. But we'll get some travel time, and we'll get some time where the phones are, minimized some, and these guys are just hanging out with each other, and they don't have a choice, really. It's what it is, and it's where a lot of teams really start to they've been on this journey, but it's where the journey gets like really real. You know what I mean? The lineup goes up for the first time. And there will be some people that are disappointed. I'm glad. Like, it's supposed to be like that. Now, I don't want them to stay there, but I want them to understand, like it's earned. It's not about your scholarship. It's not about your whatever you can make in NIL or rev share. It's about how you play. And so this is where we really start to get together and bond in a better way. We do that stuff in the fall with some stuff that we do, and it's why we try to take some trips and do some things. We had one of the best fall trips we've ever had, going to the lake, a different lake, to one of our former baseball players here and to his house, and our girls had an absolute blast. We had a blast as a staff. They went out in tents, and I mean, I wouldn't really call it roughing it, like Team One did when we were in the woods and we were in tents. But it was just an awesome time, and it's where I first started to see this team kind of go, okay, we're going to be okay. I know we have the talent. You gotta have a good team. And so these guys in this back room have done a great job. They've done a great job. I think about Mel. She's new here. She's one of the she's in the back here. She's the only one who's new. I think after the first couple of weeks, she really has jumped in. You know what I mean? And she's a little quiet at first, and then jumped in, and now she's like somebody I can't wait to see every dang day. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes, especially when you're somebody like her. You have 1 year. Like, you either jump in or it's too late. You get to the end and you're like, damn, I should have got in this thing way faster. And it takes guts. It takes guts, because you're trying to figure out, am I good enough? Do I belong here? Are they going to accept me? I'm competing with people like Tia and Claire and all these other ones, you know what I mean? And they've been here for a long time. Like, it's all real, and it's things they go through. So I'm very proud of what they've done to work to get to the group that they are today, but we're still not where we've got to be. For us to win, they've got to be locked, and they have the ability to do that. They just have to keep going.
You've said in the past that we're not defending anything, something along those lines. Does the fact that streak got broken, of course you want to go to the World Series every year, does the fact that got broken, though, make that message maybe easier to get across, that you can't just focus on the day-to-day stuff, that there's not this looming streak that's over the program or anything like that?
Yeah, we've never really talked about it's got to be 6 in a row. I haven't even talked about preseason rankings, awards. They don't matter. Last year we were picked, I think, in most polls in the top 5, and it's not where we finished up. So it doesn't matter right now. What matters is who we are after the first weekend, the second weekend, the third, and as we get into the end of May and the 1st of June. That's what matters most. And so we've just really focused on day-to-day. We've really focused on that. We've had a lot of new answers. I've had a lot of new questions. The middle of our field is different. You know what I mean? And we've got a new shortstop, and we're going to have a new second baseman, because our second baseman is so selfless. She moved to third. Like, that's hard. And, I didn't want to really have that talk with her, but I did, and it was like, yeah, of course. And, so we've just got a lot of things that are new, and it's kind of has a little bit of a feeling like 2019, where we needed to reset just a bit. It's just kind of cool to reset after you've been to OKC 5 out of 6 years instead of never ever being in a super. So it's a different kind of reset. It's not a wholesale trash it all and we got to start over. It's no. Here's what's been going very well. Here's where we know we got to get to. We still got to get tougher. Got to get tougher. Been talking to our offense about being this unit. They're starting to become this unit. And some things are happening there that are good. And so it's just kind of, keep evolving. That's one thing that we've just tried to do. It's one thing that I take a lot of pride in, is the self-eval, and do that with our staff and ask our kids to do the same thing. Self-eval, you guys are all good, but if you just keep being who you are, you're probably getting worse. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as staying the same. And that's what we've learned probably very, very well, is the line is so fine to get over the edge. And I mean, we know what it smells like. We don't know what it tastes like yet, but we know what it smells like. And we got to get back there. Or we at least have that in our mind to know what it takes to get back there. We got kids here who have been there and they know that. I just keep reminding them that you just got to keep playing like you're 8. You know what I mean? It's just a playground out there. If you're worried about how many hits you got or any of that other stuff, or how many strikeouts you got, or how many runs you've given up, or how many errors you made, it's a bad place. Just go out there and play like you're 8. You didn't need any warm-ups. You didn't need any special tools and all this fancy coaching. You just went out and played your tails off because you loved it. And I think this team is finding their way, and we're just going to focus on the things that we need. I think they're pretty aware of that. These guys are smart. They know what they need for the most part. We're talking about building a player-led team, a player-led program, and they're doing a good job in that as well. But it's just constant growth.
What have you seen from Rosie at third?
It's been really good. The first day we moved her there, I was like, dang, it's kind of got the quickness that I saw when we were recruiting her in high school. It just was, it looked natural. Now there's still some plays that playing third, if you haven't played there, are very difficult. Probably the craziest one, I can remember the Sydney Penningtons, who was so good at third. Talon was real good at third. That play it's that like soft line drive. It's that like one hopper that you think is scorched and it's not, but it feels and looks like it is, and you kind of get back on your heels. That's a really tough play, and she's getting better at that. She obviously has the arm strength. She's got a freshman on her left, so she's like constantly got to help her and coach her. If she was at second, she'd have her on her right, so she'd have to be doing the same thing. Probably the best thing is I got her away from her best friend over there at first, so they're not over there cracking jokes the whole game. At least I got them on the corners now. They can kind of help secure the middle of our field. So, but she's doing great. And again, like asking a kid to do a move is tough. Especially when she didn't see that coming. I don't think. Probably have to ask her, but I don't think she saw that coming. But when I asked her, I can remember we were in the team room, and I said, hey, I want to talk to you about this. She's like, yeah, what? And I said, how about third base? She goes, whatever you need. I'm like, man, so it's awesome. So she's doing great, getting better every day. She's a tireless worker. It's like Carly. They're out there with Bergie a lot, getting extra, and it's paying off.
Ruby's been such an elite pitcher for so many years. What was your challenge to her during the offseason, and what do you expect out of her in her senior year?
Just get better. You know what I mean? Just there's still room. Ruby's nowhere close to what she's going to be. Unfortunately, we probably will never see at OSU her best because she's got so much room to still grow. She's nowhere close to her prime years. You know what I mean? She's going to be finding that in the next 5 to 10 years as she continues to play. But just challenging her on adding more to her pitches, want to get the changeup to be a respected pitch. It's very hard to throw, to learn. If you didn't learn that at a young age, it's very hard. So she's worked her tail off all summer long. She visited with Michelle Smith some. She's sought other help on that. It's been great. Her and Carrie have worked their tails off. It's coming along. Rise ball to improve. I mean, she's a pitcher. And our girls, now if she misses over the plate, we can hit her. And she knows that. But when she throws these pitches to the corners of the plate, we had no shot. No shot. And neither does anybody else in the country. So it's been really cool to watch. She just has some different things now that you can't just look drop. And if you do, Carrie will be able to tell, and you'll be in trouble. So she's a great worker. Just need her to keep growing. You know what I mean? And I need our team to keep her accountable, and I need her to keep our team accountable as well. There's a leadership responsibility. We did a little vote this last couple weeks, and our players don't know the results. But I said, hey, if I was to have a leadership council, pick a pitcher, pick a catcher, pick 2 infielders, pick 2 outfielders. Who would you want to be on that leadership council? And Ruby was the top pitcher, not even close. And I'll be honest, like, I was shocked. I wasn't like shocked that they voted her that, but I was a little shocked because she's a quiet leader, even though she's out front and she's got big actions and all that type of stuff. And she's a force. I just didn't know who they would vote for. And sometimes when you're somebody like her that's kind of can be polarizing, like a Sam Shao was here, not everybody will always vote for you, especially girls. That's just not the way they're wired. And she blew it away. And I was like, damn. And I was like really pumped for her, because what it tells me is she's doing things right that people respect. And when you do things right, like working hard and doing things right off our field and getting to bed at night and eating good and all the things that elite athletes do, no brainer.
From a mental standpoint, do you think she's the same person that joined the program last year? Or have you seen her grow in some ways?
You know, she's way different. Way different. Her and I, like, I'll tell this story. I don't know, it's about a month ago. She called me and she just said, "Are we good?" And I said, I think so. Like, I think we're great. And she was just like, "Well, I just, you and I don't talk as much." And I said, "Well, you don't need as much attention as you needed last year." Like, and she goes, "You're right." And she just goes, "I just needed to know that we're good." And I said, "I'm thrilled. I think I'm so proud of you, because last year you took a lot of my attention, and I'm okay with that. Like, your pitchers need that sometimes, right? And not all of them, but some of them do. And some of these guys need that at times. But I spent a lot of time with Ruby, and it reminded me that I need to make sure I keep giving her enough, right? Because she likes that. It makes her feel good. And that's one of the things I take pride in, is knowing when they need that and grabbing them and saying, "Hey, let's go get coffee," or whatever. And so it was a good reminder to me. When I went home and told my wife, I said, "I need to make sure I stay with Ruby some," you know what I mean? Because some of them don't need anything. Like, and when they do, it's, you know, you got something there. But some just need a little bit of reassurance every once in a while, no matter who you are. So it's cool to have that moment, and it's a good reminder as a coach. Hey, just keep checking on them, making sure, you know, I see them each day, but even though I'm like watching this growth, going, she's great. I don't need to ask her as much, but it's just good. It was a good spot. So I'm proud of her. Still got a long way to go. Can still grow. Like all these guys can. I'm trying to constantly challenge these guys to lead. Leading's hard. It's hard. It's a lonely place. And you have to do it even when you're not best friends. You have to do it to your friends. You have to do it to everyone, no matter what, at any time. And not everybody wants that. But if we can get these guys in this back room to do that, it doesn't always have to be rah-rah. It doesn't have to be in front of everybody. In fact, when it's not in front of everybody, it's the very best.
When you say you didn't need to check in as much, is she more confident? What sort of accounts for that difference?
You'll have to ask her. I would say, I mean, but I just see the way she walks in. Like, we talk about our program being a front door program. It's one of my favorite things. It is my favorite thing about our facility. That's probably it. I think I said that, but and the scoreboard is nice too. But I love the front door, because these guys have to come by me every day. And if they skip my office not saying hi, I usually try to chase them down or yell down the hallway. And like, I see her walk in, she feels like she's 6'6" this year. That's how she feels, like, because it's just, she's walking taller, her shoulders are up, her smiling, her head's up. Last year there were moments of not sure. I think at times, and you know you're good, but you're not sure. Maybe at times, just didn't see the same look always. And so I haven't seen that at all. We hit her hard this last week, and I was like just paying attention to her, just watching her in the dugout. Same process. Comes in, writes everything down. I was kind of a little irritated at Carrie because Carrie wasn't going to the mound, to help her. I mean, we hit her hard. And then I watched Carrie go down to the edge of the dugout on the other side and kind of do some things. And then they talked, and then it was fixed. But there was no pouty. Like last year we just saw pouty and slamming her rosin bag down, and just that look, it's not there. It's just better. It's just growth. And those are the challenges that we've talked to her about, and that she's handled well, and she's grown. And that'll just continue. There'll be a moment this season where one of them is going to have to grab her and say, knock it off. We need you. Stop, reset. And she's going to go, I gotcha. Last year, you may not have got the gotcha, but she'd have put her head down. She wouldn't have said anything back bad, but you may not have got the gotcha. And the gotcha is like, I gotcha. It's my bad. That's what she's saying back.
With Riley, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, no, go ahead.
With Riley returning as well, just what's kind of your expectation for her?
My expectation is for her to stay healthy. She's worked hard to stay healthy. My expectation is her to be the best Riley. She's not going to be Ruby. I don't think Ruby has a chance to go out there and not give up runs a lot of times, you know what I mean? Where Riley's going to give some runs up here and there. But we got an offense that can score runs. I think we're showing that. And so my expectation for her is to just be good, just be her best, and be comfortable who she is. She's really grown. She's really grown. I think she thinks she is good enough to be here. I think that last year when she got off to a little bit of a rough start, she questioned that right from the start and never really got that back. Then she got hurt. And then she kind of finished strong. You know what I mean? It was a hard year for her, probably the hardest year she's ever had, as far as in the circle part. And she's good. She's going to be good. She's going to really help us out.
You said about her being the best Riley. Have you kind of continuously preached that to her, or do you feel like she's not really needed that message as much?
My conversations with Riley are not really about softball, to be honest. Carrie's got that. My conversations with Riley are just about life and where she's at. And we just, when we talk, we just kind of sit down and talk about whatever, but it's really not a lot about that. She knows what she's got to do. She's a worker. She's very in tune with her body and what it needs. We found some things out with her feet that we think are really helping her back. That we feel like has been a really good thing. So I think that's put her at ease. When you pitch, the torque that's put on these bodies and these arms is not good. I know they pitch a lot more than baseball guys because they're tougher. We know that. All you men in here, you know that as well, especially if you're married. But there's still when you're worried about, well, this could come back, it's in the back of your mind. And so there's a lot of energy that's taken from you to be your best. And I don't think she's got that wasted energy this year like she had last year.
How excited are you for the potential of Aubrey Jones and J.L. Austin? And I know all positions are important defensively, but they're playing two really important positions for you.
Yeah, I'm scared to death, excited, anxious. I'm like, they show some flashes of greatness. They show some flashes of 12-year-old travel ball at times. That's not very good to watch. But their falls were Aubrey's was really bad, to be honest, for her and what she expected to come in here and do. Didn't hit well. It affected her defense. She went home like most of these kids, well, all these kids have done, well, a bunch of them have done here after their first year. They go home that first time and they just kind of take a break and they come back, and both of them, when they came back, I was like, whoa. I mean, they're like back. So they're these guys in this back room are going to have some real work, because all these young guys, I mean, we're going to play, Gabby Castillo's in a fight at second base. She's never played second base. She's a catcher. But she had such a great fall with her bat that we have to find her a way in there. She's in our top 10 or 11 hitters for sure. She's in a fight with Jaden Jones at second base. They're so different as athletes. One's a runner, put the ball in play, never played infield. It's scary. The other ones got some experience at the Power 5, Power 4 level, left-handed, pop, can swing and miss a little bit more, is a little more steady in the infield, but doesn't have the range that maybe a Gabby does, because Gabby's just a better athlete. She's a runner. But it's kind of cool to watch all these young kids grow. And like I told you, it reminds me a little bit of 19 when we had these freshmen out there playing. And you're just like, hey, well, let's go. You know what I mean? Just when you screw it up fast, and then we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But don't be timid. Don't be holding back. Like, let's just go. So I'm real excited about them. There's a lot there, and they're kids that, if they can just be themselves and continue to be coachable, continue to build trust in us and these guys in this back room, they'll really improve.
Probably only a couple more.
Carly was pretty open with us last year about how frustrating the season was for her at times at the plate. What did you see from her over the off season and fall?
Well, she was scary this fall, and she's been scary since we've been back. Scary good. And I think I may be seeing the greatest growth I've seen in her time here. She's at a point where she just doesn't care about the next pitch or the last pitch. She cares about this pitch for the first time. And it is like, whoa. Like, I'm telling you, it's been fun. So I know she's super anxious to get going. I think she's probably a little pissed off by some things that are out there, as far as publications and not getting a lot of mentions. I'm pissed. But it's okay. People play good when they're pissed, and they're smart, and they've grown up. And she's going to have a really good year. And I just commanding strikes, swinging at strikes, in tune with the body, in tune with her mind. I was up in our indoor this morning. She was up there at 7:30, hitting. You don't see that a lot from people. Up there with her bestie back there, Rosie. It's just, she's always worked, but I think she's got a different kind of trust. I mean, she's not fighting anything. She's just like, give me info, like, give me stuff. Like, what do you see? It's open. It's honest. It's going to be fun.
Kenny, we see where in football, basketball, everything, NIL, portal, rev shares,
Yep.
driving things. Headed into the 26th season, where do you think the state of play of softball is across the country? Just the state of play of where all these external things that are driving everything else are driving the sport.
I mean, they're definitely in our sport. I think we saw a little uptick this last year with what Texas Tech did, and it looked kind of interesting. Just everybody's like, what just happened? And they found a little bit of a loophole, right? And they took advantage of that. I don't think that type of money's going to stay around like that, to be honest. But I think there's money to be made. There's money to be had. These guys are taking advantage of that back here, and I'm thrilled for them in that. I just hope that quicker than later, we don't say the word sooner here, quicker than later, we can get the enforcement right so that our game doesn't get ruined like these other games are. Because I think basketball, football in a big way, man, it's turning some people off. And it's not why I signed up to be a coach. It's not going to chase me out of here. Like, I'll just adapt. I love this. Like, if I have to go do something else, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, this is what I want to do, so we'll play with those rules, whatever those rules are. But I'm going to continue to preach to these guys about it's not about money. It's not. I mean, this is supposed to be about the best 4 years of your entire life. And money has no bearing in that. Actually, struggling a little bit makes it the best years. And it being hard, and you having to work to get things, like learning that you don't get paid on the front and the back. That's not real. Like, that's not life. Like, you're going to have to earn what you get. We tried to remind them that money's the root of all evil. And it doesn't solve your problems. It creates more most of the time. And so I just want them to keep playing because they love to play. And if you truly love what you do, and you're totally invested in your team, your program, your school, you'll get everything that you're supposed to get, that nothing's free. And I think, unfortunately, we're in a world in some sports, even on this campus here, where it seems and feels like it's free. And there's a cost to everything. And I'm just thankful that our school's in for softball. So that's pretty apparent. It has no bearing on if we have a new stadium or not. It doesn't. And I know I joke about it a lot. But we've shown that we can win with what we've got here. And the people there in this back room and the staff I have I'm lucky. And they choose to be here. And we got former players on staff and things like that I think show that we've got a pretty healthy place and that we can continue to do things right. We're not going to sell our soul to the devil to win the final game. I've said that from day one. We're not going to cheat. We're not going to do what the rules. We're going to do what the rules say, and hopefully we'll keep trying to evolve. I think our department is showing that we're trying to evolve and find some new cool ways. But it's wild. If I'm be honest, if the first question out of a kid's mouth is how much, I'm going to go to the next one. It's just, I don't think that kid, I'm not going to be mad at them, but I don't think that that's the right kid for Stillwater, for OSU, for the program, the Cowgirl way. I don't think that's the best piece. So I think it just tells me, red flag, probably not going to work here. And that's okay. Wish you the very best. And so that's what we're going through and experiencing. And again, I haven't had one kid ask me how much yet. I mean, we've got there, but like not the first thing. And I know I was talking to Mike Boynton a couple weeks ago. He told me some crazy stuff about like how it's going in that sport. And I'm just like, I mean, I was like, I didn't even know what to say. You know what I mean? I knew it was weird, but I didn't know it was weird. And just the way we've always done things, right? So I'm just happy we still have a real sport playing a real college game. These kids are able to benefit from their name, their image, their likeness. I've got a group here that seems to, I mean, I know it's important stuff to them, but it's not the driver. The driver is winning that last game. It's to create the best memories that they can with this team. Because for some of these kids in this back room, it's winding down quick. and I want to try to make it last as long as I can for all of them.
In the near future,
Last one for Coach.
in the near future, are players that stay at a school for 4 or 5 years, their whole career, are they going to be held in special regard?
It's a good question. Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's a really interesting question. I don't think about that a lot. I don't think about any of these guys leaving here. And people ask me a lot, are you worried about losing Rosie or Carly or Tia? No. Like, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. Like, I'm not. I love them. I think they love us. And we're building this relationship that's not about softball. And you'll have to ask them, that's how I feel. And that's why we joke around and have fun, and I pick at them. And, Carly's dating a state trooper. I talk to her about him a lot. I want to know about that cat. You know what I mean? I don't care that he's her neighbor. I don't care. I want to know. So those are the things, though. I mean, we laugh and we have those things, but that's our conversations every day. And it's not about softball. And so, no, I'm not worried about losing kids, because if they're here for the right reasons and they invest in us, they get double, triple, quadruple back. And I think they know that. And if they don't, then I'm not doing a very good job. So.
All right, we'll end it there just so we have time for the players. If anyone wants to keep talking with Coach G, just let me know. We can work something out.
How's your baby?